Tonight, claims Queenslanders are being kept in the dark with Callide offline.
A crocodile causes concerns near Kerman Creek.
Renewed pleas for a blanket ban on button batteries.
And pop-up shops helping parents get school savvy.
This is 7 News with Joanne, Desmond and Adam Straney.
Good evening, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for your company tonight.
The state opposition is demanding the release of a review into the disastrous explosion at Callide Power Station. The LNP wants to know whether the incident has impacted power bills across the state 2 years on.
It caused catastrophic damage and led to mass blackouts. More than 2 years later, Queenslanders are still in the dark about an explosion at the Callide Power Station.
955 days on and still nothing.
A forensic engineer, Dr. Sean Brady, was engaged to investigate the incident, but his review still hasn't been delivered.
There will be a reason why that report has been delayed. I hope that the report shows, if anything, that the coal fire stations need to be operated safely and that they're all old and due to be replaced.
What is it about this government and not wanting to let the sun shine in?
The acting Energy Minister says the independent Brady review is just that, independent. This means neither the Energy Minister nor anyone within the Miles government has any influence on the release of this critical work.
There are so many questions that need to be answered.
One of them, what has the fallout of the explosion meant for power bills statewide? Queensland's wholesale electricity prices were among the highest in the country last year.
Why should Queenslanders pay an extra 25% a year in electricity because the government have failed to acknowledge that they haven't maintained their electricity assets?
Jade Richards, 7 News.
A local has had a heart-stopping encounter with a crocodile at Kerman Creek boat ramp. A post to Facebook claims the reptile launched itself onto a nearby pontoon not far from a bucket of bait.
The behaviour here approaching a boat ramp could be something that's consistent with it finding food or reward at that boat ramp, so we really encourage people to dispose their fish scraps and their bait.
Wildlife officers say the incident is a reminder to remain vigilant. It comes 3 weeks after crocs were spotted in Fitzroy River.
Free toys handed out at shopping centres over Christmas are among dozens of products failing to comply with safety standards. The alarming number of recalls has sparked renewed pleas for even tougher laws to crack down on button batteries.
These shiny button batteries are a small circular death trap for any child who ingests them, a lesson Andrea Shoesmith learnt the hard way. She lost her 4-year-old daughter Summer after she swallowed one in 2015.
Which is unimaginable pain. That doesn't go. It doesn't go.
Since then, 2 other young girls in Australia have also met the same fate. So in 2022, new safety standards were imposed by the government to prevent more deaths from button batteries. 132 products have been recalled since the new rules came into effect, including toys like the Super Spy HQ sold at Big W and light-up sensory glow tubes given out at some Santa photo sets in shopping centres at Christmas.
We have issued infringement notices totalling more than $500,000 to 6 different suppliers.
But Andrea says that's not enough. She wants button batteries banned altogether.
You can absolutely expect that if there are further serious incidents of non-compliance, that we will take action and potentially more serious action than has already been taken in the past.
Be smart and make the decision not to buy anything with a button battery in it, unless you want to suffer the same fate.
Tiani Reid, 7 News.
A woman has been taken to hospital after she was bitten by a snake at a property in Bajul last night. The woman was in a stable condition and has been discharged from Rockhampton Hospital. Residents are being advised to stay vigilant over the summer with snakes on the move. If you see one, keep your distance and call 000 if you get bitten.
Lifeguards have issued a warning to beachgoers to be on the lookout for deadly jellyfish. There has already been more than 115 stinger-related injuries in North Queensland since the start of December.
They're sometimes impossible to see, but experts warn the sting of a jellyfish can cause serious injury and even death.
In Australia, we have 2 types of jellyfish that can produce lethal outcomes.
And North Queensland is home to the deadliest.
Box jellyfish is the most venomous creature on the planet.
As well as irukandji jellyfish.
There's something about the venom that triggers a feeling of an impending feeling of doom.
The invertebrates use their stinging tentacles to paralyse prey before eating them.
We've had 10 major stings across the North Queensland region.
Box and irukandji jellyfish have been spotted across Mackay, Townsville and Yeppoon. More than 115 people have been stung since December 1.
It's not unusual when we do have these hotter, drier conditions that we are going to see more stings.
Lifeguards encourage swimmers to stay alert and watch for jellyfish warning signs.
We have had 25 beach closures due to marine stingers.
Stinger suits are recommended, or try to wear as much clothing in the water as possible. If stung, call 000 immediately.
It's better to be in the hospital and not need to be there than not be in the hospital and need to be there.
Georgie May Walker, 7 News.
Low-cost carrier Bonza has announced a 72-hour sale with $49 flights to and from Gladstone and Melbourne. The offer kicked off today and will end on Sunday for travel dates between January 30 and March 26. Bonza is the only airline flying direct between the two cities, with trips on Qantas and Virgin Australia requiring a stopover in Brisbane. The airline says it's committed to making travel affordable amid rising living costs.
It's summer and a perfect time for a road trip. Your bags and snacks are packed, but for some reason many feel the need for speed. University researchers have been working on why people put their foot down as a way to improve road safety and save lives.
With holidays in full swing and more traffic on the roads, researchers have been working to understand the motivations behind speeding.
It can be related to personality. So if you've got a personality and you like to take a few more risks, or you're a little bit more impulsive or aggressive, that might come out in the way that you drive and you might tend to speed.
Dr. Stevens says there are various factors contributing to the temptation to speed.
What's going on in your life at the time? So either more generally, so you might be under some time pressures, feeling a bit angry or frustrated, or it can also be related to what's happening while you're driving.
Researchers found some strategies are helping to deter speeding.
The randomisation, the actual sending of a speed camera vehicle to a particular location, plays a key role in persuading people that there's that risk of being caught.
Professor Cameron believes the penalty system is most effective through the enforcement of demerit points.
We found in our research that the people up to 10 and 11 points really do change their behaviour.
They say speeding not only contributes to accidents, but significantly increases the severity of injuries in crashes. Christian Penny, 7 News.
Economists are warning new home building will fall this year to its lowest level in more than a decade. A perfect storm of rate rises, material costs and a shortage of workers and land are fueling the downturn.
The Australian dream, a detached home on a quarter-acre block surrounded by garden.
We've got a 30-year mortgage that doesn't strain the weekly pay packet.
Is now a standard of living out of reach for many.
The rise in the cost of building a home has been compounded by the increase in the cash rate.
The cost of building up 11% from 2022. The price of timber frames, terracotta tiles and steel jumping by more than 50% during the pandemic.
Obtaining these materials was very hard, so therefore it's very expensive. So delays itself on a project costs an arm and a leg because of the interest, especially now.
Despite this, the government is promising a bumper period.
We need to put shoulder to the wheel, all levels of government, including local government.
An ambition to build 1.2 million homes from 1 July 2024.
That's 240,000 new homes every 12 months for the next 5 years. Economists believe will fall well short this year, building just 179,000.
This will be the slowest year for new detached housing starts since 2012.
As energy-intensive materials become more expensive.
Everything is going up. Glass,
bricks, concrete, labour under this government.
Besides a critical shortage of tradies, suppliers believe one of the biggest problems is delays in building approvals.
The workflow of the whole process, where it starts from drawing at council, and that's where the big issue is.
Isabel Mullen, 7 News.
New research has found some vegan fast food meals aren't necessarily a healthy alternative to meat-based dishes. The study, published in the journal Nutrition, analysed thousands of meals from fast food chains in 5 countries, including vegan burgers and pizzas. It found plant-based meals had less protein and higher levels of carbs and sugar than their meat equivalents. They also had a similar number of calories.
Ahead tonight, pop-up shops to ease back-to-school pressure for parents.
And a cat whisperer who saved an abandoned pet from pythons.
Central Queensland turns to 7 News to keep up to date on local issues, and we want you to be a part of it. If there's something happening in your street, your suburb, we want to know about it. Send us a message or drop us an email.
And welcome back to 7 News. The School Savvy program returns next week to help families needing help with back-to-school costs. A one-stop pop-up shop will be opening around the region with everything needed to make things affordable with pre-loved purchases.
New school year prep can be hectic and costs pile up quickly for uniforms, books and stationery.
Sending your child back to school in primary school is an average cost about $800 to $900 for one child, and high school is even higher than that. That's around the $1,200 to $1,300 mark. So it is very, very expensive.
The School Savvy pop-up shop will open on Monday at St Teresa's Community Centre in Rockhampton, just in time for the start of the school year.
We open up shops throughout Central Queensland and offer school stationery and low-cost second-hand uniforms for people to come in and purchase.
With the cost of living crisis affecting many families, School Savvy draws in thousands of customers each year.
We've seen over the years people drive 2-3 hours from out west with their 3 or 4 kids to make sure that they can affordably access the school resources that they need.
Catholic Care is able to operate the stores with school uniform and stationery donations. Pop-ups outside Rockhampton open throughout the week.
Yeppoon on Wednesday, Gladstone on Wednesday and Mount Morgan on Wednesday, and we're headed to Gracemere on Thursday.
For more information, you can visit School Savvy CQ on Facebook. Christian Penny, 7 News.
Nominations are now open to vote for Queensland's top nurses and midwives. The awards are designed to recognise excellence in positive practice, early career, First Nations staff and professional leadership. Head to the Queensland Nurse and Midwives Union website to vote. Nominations close on March 15.
An abandoned cat has finally found some love after she was dumped in python territory. A cat whisperer came to Mimi's rescue, but not before her litter of kittens disappeared, possibly falling victim to the snakes.
This fragile cat is very quiet. She's had a tough life and she's only 6 months old. Mimi was abandoned with her kittens and unable to save them when they were dumped in python territory.
No animal asks for a life like that. They don't do this to themselves and they get upset. And it's heartbreaking.
Kelsey Hobson is a first-time foster carer and it seems a cat whisperer, unable to resist Mimi's charm. The cat found Kelsey and kept returning to her house for food.
She was incredibly skinny. As you can imagine, she didn't have a good food source. She was feeding a litter.
After 6 weeks, the pair have now formed a close bond.
She will come up, she'll bump my hand, she'll put her chest here and then rub herself right across and flop onto my arm.
But there are hundreds more cats that are being abandoned, and right now fewer people are adopting.
Too many people are being irresponsible. So everyone gets their rate bills in January, so money's tight. Cost of living's tight for all of us as it is.
Luckily for this Russian blue, she's off to a new home with Dana and her family.
I just wanted her off the street.
Michaela Fanto, 7 News.
Well, Joe, big Friday and plenty of sport with Luke.
It certainly is. And Luke, some of our local cricketers are getting a taste of the big time.
Yeah, they're really enjoying themselves at the moment, Joe. They're in the spoils of state selection at the national champs. We will have more on that next. And the Brethren, they're gearing up for a big season in 2024. And welcome back to 7 News. Well, Rocky Brothers are set for a big year with a major overhaul of the coaching ranks over the off-season. Jack Lloyd has joined the club as the Director of Coaching and will take over the reins as the A-grade coach.
There is a lot happening at Rocky Brothers this year.
We are super excited. We've had some big changes through the off-season. We've managed to score a Director of Coaching with Jack Lloyd and his dad, Jack Lloyd Sr. So they both come on board with Brothers Rugby.
Jack Lloyd, who is currently working with the QRU, will bring over 20 years of experience to the club.
Their idea is to coach the coaches, fill the gaps where needed, assist with kids one-on-one training and provide that extra support in all areas.
Registrations are strong for the club, who kick things off at their Victoria Park headquarters tomorrow morning.
We've got great numbers at the moment. We would hope to get 2 teams and have a reserve grade team as well. So we've got a sign-on day and our first training session on Saturday, and that'll give us an opportunity to meet the guys and see what talent we've got coming through.
The junior competition has undergone a significant restructure ahead of the 2024 season.
So we're doing an under-13s, an under-15s and an under-17s competition, which will give us an easier step for the senior boys and girls to move into the senior competitions.
The introduction of the new role will help with the addition of these new age divisions.
For a long time we haven't had that support network to build in those age brackets as well as in the seniors, women's, men's and girls. So Jack's come on board to help Brothers.
Brad Villiers, 7 News.
Well, last month was a whirlwind for cricketer Logan Whitfield, living out his childhood dream of being a professional sportsman. The 24-year-old was part of the CQ Seamers side that won the Bulls Masters Challenge at the Gabba. Now he's in Newcastle representing Queensland at the Australian Country Championships.
Logan Whitfield is loving life at the moment.
Very exciting time to be a country cricketer down here at a championship like that versus the rest of Australia. It's a very high level of cricket and it's an honour to be here.
The talented cricketer is representing Queensland at the Australian Country Cricket Championships in Newcastle and enjoying the high performance environment.
Yeah, we've been really, really lucky. We've been treated basically like a professional cricketer for about a week now and really fortunate for all of that. It's been good.
The French spinner is still on a high from his CQ Seamers heroics.
The Gabba was really exciting. It was a really hot day there at the Gabba and the batters, they just put on a show for us. Joey McGarry and Jeff Case both scoring half centuries off not many balls.
And despite the heavy schedule in Newcastle, the players will be able to play tourist as they enjoy a day off from their play to enjoy the sights.
We are staying in Newcastle, so we'll probably head down to the beach there, have a look around. And there's a few families down here as well, so we'll include them in a family night tonight.
Brad Villiers, 7 News.
Well, our golfers will have their first hit out for the year this weekend as they take to the courses around the region. The Keppel Pennants competition continues with Yeppoon Golf Course hosting the clash against Rockhampton, while Emu Park will head up the highway to take on North Rocky on their home course. The final will take place on Sunday, February 4. It always goes down to the wire, that battle.
It certainly does. All right.
Well, again, I'm sure.
Great. Thanks for that, Luke.
Well, after the break, Rosanna has all of the weekend weather outlook.
Hello, Rosanna Natoli with tonight's weather. From tropical cyclones, flash flooding and heat waves, it finally seems now that we Queenslanders are in for some calmer conditions for the week ahead. Now, despite remaining in some regions, that heat wave is easing over the state. Showers are still expected from the weekend onwards too. Temperatures today across the Capricorn region. Rockhampton had a range of 25 to 34 degrees, top of 33 for Gladstone and Yeppoon 31. To the satellite loop, and nothing much is affecting us at the moment. Onshore flow is producing low cloud about south and northwestern Western Australia, and cloud with some isolated thunderstorm activity sits near the Western Australia and South Australian border here. Meanwhile, thunderstorms remain in the Northern Territory, coastal waters and far inland Queensland in through here. On today's chart, heat troughs still dominate inland parts of the continent. A ridge extends along the east coast of Australia, and that ridge strengthened for today as a high moved east across the Great Australian Bight, strengthening this ridge. On tomorrow's chart, that high will reach the Tasman Sea on Saturday and continue drifting east, expected to weaken early next week. So now to the latest from the Bureau. The boating forecast for Capricornia waters, winds are southeasterly about 15 to 25 knots, turning easterly for Monday. Seas are around 2 metres. Still some neap tides around thanks to last night's quarter moon. A high for tomorrow will be around 5 a.m. with the low near 11:30. The Capricornia district forecast, that heat wave still remains in parts of the district, partly cloudy with the high chance of showers and thunderstorms in the late morning and afternoon. Gladstone 24 to 32 degrees, Rockhampton 33, Biloela a top of 35 and Yeppoon 30. For the Central Highlands and coalfields, the same with the heat wave, a high chance of showers about the Carnarvon Ranges, medium chance elsewhere. Emerald is heading for 35 and the same for Claremont and Moranbah. Looking ahead for Rockhampton, wet conditions will continue into the working week, with showers supposed to be staying about. Temperatures will stay in the low 30s for next week. Now it is back to the team. Bye for now.
And just a reminder, you can watch a replay of our news on the 7plus app or catch up on our page 7news.com.au. From all of us here, enjoy your weekend. Good night.
Good night.